Joining us.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
All right, Elizabeth, let's start with you because you, a stay-at-home mom, have never worked a day in your life.
Never worked a day in my life. Never. I have 5 kids, and it's just so easy. I get up, I get to be lazy. No, I work so hard,
huh?
and yeah, just a little. It's just really discouraging because by saying this, she really denigrates the hard work that all stay-at-home moms do, and basically mocks what we bring to the table by saying that we don't have anything insightful or valuable to offer, that our work isn't real work, that it's, we don't have anything insightful to say.
All right, Betsy, what do you think about this?
Well, Steve, the bigger issue here is that the apology that wasn't an apology at all, only in Washington terms, is if anyone was offended. I love that. Is that
everybody was offended, including the president.
Right. But she's reflecting a very broad philosophical belief that motherhood is not significantly important. And this is what Democrats believe. It's what feminists have preached since Betty Friedan wrote The Feminine Mystique, in which she tears apart motherhood. This is thinking far and wide in Democratic circles. What I thought was interesting was the rapidity with which the men from Barack Obama to David Axelrod and others threw this woman under the bus. Apparently, chivalry is dead in certain quarters.
She definitely has bus tracks on her back today. Joanne?
Well, first, I'm a work-at-home mom. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I actually work full-time from home. But, my take on this is, obviously, she shouldn't have said it. Every mom is a working mom. But here's the thing. The thing we should be focusing on is not some new Mommy Wars 4.0. That's not the issue. The issue is, how does the Romney campaign really address issues that impact working families? And I think it's fair to ask the question, is Ann Romney the right person to be advising him on that when she had a much more privileged version of a stay-at-home mom life than most moms, stay-at-home or working moms have?
You know what, Joanne, though? But if you read about there in Washington, D.C., the Washington Post ran an article about a month or two ago about how when the Romneys were first married, they lived in an apartment that cost $65 a month. They ate spaghetti because they didn't have any money. I mean, his dad didn't give him any money, but that is for another day.
I think we would agree that they are much more privileged than most other.
Hardship is hardship.
Yes.
Hardship is hardship.
I think no one on the left is attacking Ann Romney and her stay-at-home.
They should not attack her. All right, ladies, stand by. Moms, hold on just a second. We got to take a brief commercial time out. This is going so well. We want to talk to you about how the price at the gas pump is affecting your families, because they are getting hit the hardest. They got to drive, in many cases, those big minivans. Meanwhile, time now for the panel again. With gas prices closing in on $4 a gallon all across the country, families are feeling the financial strain. Will the rising prices at the pump ultimately sway their vote? We're back with our panel of stay-at-home moms, Elizabeth Esther, Joanne Bamberger, and Betsy Hart. Joanne, you were last first time. You are first this time. How are the high gas prices impacting your family?
Well, I think high gas prices are impacting everybody's wallet and everybody's pocketbook. I guess the bigger issue is that going to influence people's votes down the road? And my guess is that probably not. Sadly, people need gas. Well, really, the president can't do anything about gas prices because if he could
increase production.
Don't you? Well, we already have increased production. We're exporting more oil now than well, come on. We're exporting more oil. Well, let me finish, Steve.
Okay.
I think if he could lower the prices now, he would do it. We're exporting more oil. We have plenty of oil. Don't you think that the president would lower gas prices today if he thought he could actually do it with the stroke of a pen?
Joanne, I think it's interesting. There were people on your side 4 years ago who said the high price of gas is George Bush's fault, blamed him, and yet I don't hear anybody on your side blaming Barack Obama.
Well, please don't lump all Democrats with me, but because I think we all have differences of opinion.
Okay, Betsy?
It is true. The president is not solely responsible for the high price of gasoline. Obviously, we have geopolitical forces very much at stake right now. But it is true that he could increase production much more. We could do more offshore drilling, more leases for pipelines and building more pipelines, et cetera. If he were to make decisions today, they would affect the futures market and drop the price of gasoline tomorrow.
That's true, but how would that impact the environment? And don't we have to consider that for our kids, too?
But Joanne, you're actually making my next point, which is that as long as we denigrate oil in this economy, we're never going to see long-term low prices. What we have to say is, guess what? And Republicans aren't that good at this, and they have to get their rhetoric a little bit different, is to recognize that oil is abundant, it is cheap, it is relatively clean, and it is very efficient, and it fuels the lifestyle and the freedom that we enjoy in the West. And as long as we make it this terrible evil, guess what? We're never going to get as much of it as we need to lower gas prices.
All right, let's go back to our original intent, and that was to figure out how it's impacting your families. Elizabeth, what about your family? Will the price of gas impact your vote? Joanne said she didn't think it would impact hers.
I think it will impact us. Right now, the average cost for a gallon of gas here in Los Angeles is $4.25. That's on the lower end, actually.
Are you going without stuff?
Oh, yeah. A couple weekends ago, we were going to take a little trip up with the kids on a weekend excursion up the California coast just for fun. And we calculated it all. It was like, no way. There is no way we can afford it, basically because of the price of gas. So for me, it's we have carpools going. We have a 3-person park pool. We have a dance carpool. We consolidate all our errands. We try to keep everything within 3 miles of our home, and it's still extremely expensive. So for me, the person who can come up with the economic plan that turns it around, that's going to impact my vote.
Well, listen, we know all three of you have got busy mornings. There are young people who are hungry and they need breakfast. So we thank Elizabeth, Betsy, and Joanne for joining us from all across the country. Great debate, ladies.
Thank you so much.
All right.